Hello, and welcome to our video on how to install CommonLook Office. Let's make sure you are installing the right software for the job you want to do. CommonLook Office is a plugin to Word and PowerPoint to help you create accessible PDFs from those source applications. So, if you're going to be making accessible PDFs from Word or PowerPoint, CommonLook Office is the tool for you. If you need to make existing PDFs accessible, you need our other tool, CommonLook PDF. We have a separate video for how to install that software. That said, if you need to install CommonLook Office, then let's get started. Before we begin installing CommonLook Office, let's make sure you have the necessary system requirements. You will need at least enough admin rights to be able to install the software. On your machine, you will need Windows 10 or later, Microsoft Office 2010 or later, at least Word and PowerPoint, and Windows Internet Explorer version 8.0 or higher. Of course, we always recommend using the most up-to-date versions of software. Also, it's important to note that you can use any browser to download and install the software. It's just that CommonLook Office uses Internet Explorer for the built-in help. If you are not sure whether or not you have everything that you need, please check with your IT team before you start installing the software. Also, it's important to note that the instructions in this video are generic instructions that will work for the majority of users. However, if your IT department has other systems or settings in place on your machine, then you may need additional help from them or from us. If you have trouble installing the software, please check with your IT team and also reach out to support@alliant.com so we can help. You should have received an email with one or more license keys and links to download software. If your email contains more than one key and more than one link to download software, make sure as we proceed you are using the link to download CommonLook Office and, when asked, you use the key to activate CommonLook Office. In the email you received, follow the link to download CommonLook Office. The link will take you to the CommonLook Office installation webpage. After opening the installation webpage, scroll down under the heading Downloading and Installing to number 2, where it says Download CommonLook Office. There is a link in bold black text to use this link to download CommonLook Office. Click that link. When you click the link to download the software, the executable will be placed wherever your downloads typically go. This could be in your downloads folder, or it could be on your desktop, for example, depending on your personal settings or decisions made by your IT team. Once the executable has been downloaded, navigate to where it is and double-click to run it. After you've double-clicked the executable to install the software, you'll get the first in a series of dialog boxes. Hit Install to start the process. Your screen will open a dialog box asking if you want to allow the app to make changes to your device. Choose Yes. On the License Agreement screen, read the licensing agreement, choose the I agree radio button, and hit Next. In the Register CommonLook Office dialog box, hit the Register Now button. For the licensing model, select the single radio button. In the product key field, enter the product key from the email you received. Make sure from the email that you're choosing the product key for CommonLook Office. Also, it is strongly recommended that you copy the key from the email and paste it into the product key field to make sure you're entering it correctly. After entering your product key, you'll need to choose how you want to activate the software. You have two options. One is to activate through the internet, and the other way is to activate by email. We recommend you activate through the internet. If, however, your organization has security settings in place, for example, so internet activation is not an option, then you'll need to activate by email. I'll take you through the internet activation steps first, and then I'll take you through the email activation steps in case you need to use that method. Try the internet activation first. To activate the software through the internet, choose the first radio button below the product key to get the activation key through the internet. Then hit the Register button at the bottom of that dialog box. You'll be taken to the Register CommonLook Office screen again. Hit the button for Next. That's it for activation through the internet. Now, if you need to activate the software by email, after you've entered your product key, select the second radio button to get your activation key by email. A long number will automatically be entered into the information field. Select that number in its entirety and copy it. Then open a new email in whatever application you use for sending emails and paste the number from the information field into your new email. It's very important that you copy the number and paste it into an email, as opposed to taking a screenshot of it and sending that, for example. Address the email to support@alliant.com and in the subject line, enter something like email activation code needed, then send us the email with the information number in it. We will respond back with an even longer activation code, which you will then need to copy from the email and paste into the activation code field. After you paste the activation code into that field, hit the Register button near the lower right-hand corner of the Register CommonLook Office dialog box. Then, in the Register CommonLook Office dialog box, hit Next. After doing the activation step, either through the internet or by email, you'll be brought to the Welcome to the CommonLook Office Setup Wizard dialog box. Read the information in that box and then hit Next. You'll then be brought to the Select Installation Folder dialog box. Here, you can choose where on your machine CommonLook Office gets installed. We highly recommend you keep the default option that's provided. Also in this dialog box, you'll need to specify if you are installing CommonLook Office just for yourself or for anyone else who might be using your machine. Even if no one else uses your machine, choose the Everyone radio button, then hit Next. You'll then get the Confirm Installation dialog box, telling you that the installer is ready to install CommonLook Office. Hit Next to start the installation. Once the installation is done, the Installation Complete dialog box will open. At that point, you're done installing the software and you're ready to learn how to use it. Go ahead and hit the Close button to close that dialog box. It may be helpful to know, even though you have just installed CommonLook Office, you won't find it on your desktop or in your taskbar. It's a plugin to Word and PowerPoint, so you won't see the software until you open a Word or PowerPoint file. Then, in the toolbar, you'll find a tab for CommonLook Office. If you have followed the steps in this video, or on the installation webpage, and you've had trouble installing the software, please reach out to support@alliant.com. We're more than happy to help you troubleshoot and to get the software properly installed and activated. Finally, now that you have the software installed, make sure your next step is to take full advantage of the available training resources you have at your disposal. As with any new software application, there is a learning curve when it comes to using CommonLook Office, and we have a lot of resources available to help you be successful. While you have just installed some very powerful software, we strongly encourage you to start out slow with training before you dive right into your more complex documents. Welcome to CommonLook Office. We look forward to traveling with you on your document accessibility journey.